Welcome back everybody. Today we'll be talking about handling, more specifically how I handle my reptiles, how often and why I do not handle some as often as others, and so on and so forth. So we'll be starting with Leroy. As you can see, and in the other video you also saw that he likes to climb, or he climbs sometimes on my hands. This is really the way I handle him, so I do not force him really, unless I need to like clean the cage, or I need to get to somewhere, or sometimes even for shootings I take him out, but I hardly ever do that, simply because he doesn't like it really, and I respect his boundaries. But as you can see, if you just let them do their thing and they adjust to you, then that's a really good way to start with them and the whole handling process. No Rattle, on the other hand, is handled more often than Leroy, simply because he doesn't mind as much, and as a young hognose, he needs to learn basically being handled a little more. As you can see, he's really small and therefore sometimes a little skittish, but usually he's fine. Later on you will see him freaking out a bit, but for the main part, as I said, he really is easy to handle and never try to bite me for real. As you might know, hognoses, they sometimes tend to fake a bite, but so far he hasn't really bitten me, and we'd like to keep it that way, since they are rear-fanged and slightly venomous, and for allergics they are not really the snake to have, but for the rest they're usually fine, and there are so far no known fatalities. I handle No Rattle roughly every week, and he seems to be totally fine with that. And it's always quite fun with him because he really feels nice and different to the other snakes. Using your finger like a hook is always a good idea when moving around smaller snakes. This way you can maneuver them exactly the way you want them to, without them being hurt or basically being too scared. And as you can see, then they move in a rather natural way. Also, handling them on the floor or close to the floor gives them more confidence, so they could technically get away, and you then can basically lift them up slightly and adjust them to the whole situation. When No Rattles tensed up like this, I really do not have to worry too much. Probably just a shadow that scared him, but as you can see, I slightly touch him on the sides, show him that it's me, and he really calms down right away. Speaking of calm, here you see my sweetheart Jane, and she really is absolutely that. No worries at all with her, apart from when I pick her up. She sometimes can get a little bit, I would say, stressed out and flicks around a bit, but she usually calms down right away, and then she is as handleable as you can see here. Total joy, and she's really the one that I take out most of the time. So I interact with her really. She's really like my pet snake, more than any other reptile. And she, as you know, is a free roaming boa, so I get to see her every now and again, just crawling by my feet. Sometimes she sits on the sofa, or she's hanging out in one of the plants. And also she likes a little desk setup that I made for her, you might have seen on Instagram. And really, with Jane, it's absolute bliss, and even winter doesn't really concern me as much. So yeah, Jane is Probably one of the greatest animals I've ever had, and I really love her dearly, and she just makes me very happy. And then you can see why. Just always very curious and lovely, and just a great joy to be around, and as my roomie, pretty great. And if you like what you just saw, make sure to hit that like button, also the subscribe button, as well as the bell, not to miss any future videos. You can also follow the Reptigade's journey on Instagram for even more awesome content. Should you've missed to watch the rest of our videos, feel free to do so. The link is in the description. Cheers for watching, everyone.